I think they said the one day we went back to the rink, I think we had to sign, our owners had to sign every champagne bottle. And I think they said there was over 160 champagne bottles that were, and
Like
obviously
empties, you
not
mean? Yeah, just like
empties,
yeah.
but like just spraying everywhere. I think you could, like I had my gear on till about 3:30, 4 a.m. I
Yeah.
didn't go home till about 5:30.
Ice is ready, babes, and we are back with another episode of the Empty Netters podcast. As always, you're with your boy, Danny DP Powers. I'm here with my bro, CP, Christopher Powers.
As always.
We've got a unbelievable interview episode for you today. Recent Stanley Cup champion, new Seattle Kraken, Brandon Montour joins the podcast, and boy, golly, was it fun.
Dude, he is anybody that wants to look up anything about Brandon Montour, the number one thing it says is that he's the locker room jokester. He's the jester. He's the court jester.
He's hilarious. He's also the DJ.
He's doing it all.
Also
he's
a
power
lax
play,
guy.
QB power play, lax guy. We didn't even get to talk about lax. I wanted to ask him about lax. We ran out of time. Lax guy, power play QB, DJ,
Best motor
jester,
in the NHL.
tank, 20-gallon tank,
Guy played 57 minutes one time.
and he was still flying.
Fucking legend.
And he was still flying.
Legend. Monty is so cool, so fun, so awesome. Kraken fans, holy hell, do you have a good one?
They got something cooking up there.
Oh my God, they do.
They got something cooking.
We don't want to make you wait any longer. We're going to kick it to the interview. Enjoy Brandon Montour. He's the best. We are currently joined by an Oswego, Ontario native. I had some help with that pronunciation.
Yep.
A USHL Player of the Year, a member of the Hockey East All-Rookie Team, the 55th overall pick in the 2014 draft with the Anaheim Ducks, a Stanley Cup champion with the Florida Panthers last season, and now a member of the Seattle Kraken, Brandon Montour. Welcome to the Empty Netters podcast.
Hey guys, thanks for having me. I love your guys' stuff. So, anytime, I got the invite, I found some time and we're making it happen.
Oh, it's beautiful stuff. We tried to nab you right before the playoff run, and you stayed locked in for good reason. So we're thrilled to have you now. This is unreal.
I was going to say, last time we saw you, we were giving you the sweatiest hug ever on the ice at Game 7, so that was pretty sick.
Hey, that was obviously a moment that everyone's going to remember. So that was cool that, we got a chance to talk there.
Hell yeah.
Beautiful stuff. Beautiful stuff. Dude, before we get into the nitty gritty about your career, everything that we want to talk about.
Yeah.
First, we need to clear something up, dude.
And we genuinely don't know the answer.
Yeah,
to
I
this
don't.
question. Yeah.
I don't know this. So, I want to find out right now. Tell me about your brothers.
My brothers.
Yes. What are their names, and where were they during the Stanley Cup?
Yeah. So my older brother's Cameron. My younger brother's Colin, and my younger brother was traveling actually in and out. He came to Florida for game 1 and 2.
Okay.
He flew in he skipped game 3 because we couldn't win game 3.
Yep.
Flew in with my parents for game 4.
Okay.
We got smacked, and then they flew home, and then they flew back to Florida for game 5, got smacked. And then he's like, listen, I want to be there so bad, but I just can't be traveling this much. So he ended up going back home. And then my parents ended up coming back for game. I don't know if they came back or they stayed in Florida for game 7. So, and then my older brother obviously is dealing with some things back home, and he wasn't able to make it, but obviously they were watching from game 1 all the way through, and we were on the ice and got a chance to FaceTime them both quick. And we had the Cup Day, I guess not 2 Wednesdays ago, and they got a chance to, hold it and celebrate. So it was a cool moment for them to experience it.
Okay.
So I think it's real then.
So here's the thing. I'm not sure. So
We'll bleep it. Tell him the phone number.
well, yeah, we'll bleep this phone number. But your brother Colin.
Oh God. Okay. So if this is something that he's probably reached out or did something. Yeah.
Well, no. So here's the thing. Is this his phone number? Do you know his phone number by heart?
We'll bleep this. But yeah.
Let me look here.
Yeah. Don't worry. We won't air the number.
I gotcha.
Is his number?
That's his number.
Okay, dude, let's go.
Confirmed then. So Dude, all right. So game 5, right?
No, it must have been 4. Wasn't that in Edmonton?
No.
Oh,
We
maybe
were
it was in Florida. You're right. It was game
Florida.
5. It was game 5. You're right.
So
It would be game 5. Yeah, he would have been there.
After game 5, he came up to us and was like, "Yo, I fucking love your shit. I'm Montour's brother." And then he hung with us all fucking night. Like he was
Okay, so so he's one to straggle along with. He could go out, he could come out to Florida, and I mean the times that he came with his girl, or this time I guess he came solo with one of our buddies, but he could be out every night and find a group of guys or find a group that he knows and be out with them all weekend. Like he's one of those guys.
Oh, dude,
he was a ledge. He was with us all night. Yeah.
Monty, he was the best. He was so fucking fun. But it was hilarious because he texted me and he was like, "Hey Dan, might not remember meeting me, but it's Montour's brother Con."
Yeah, so Colin, he's been always known as Con.
Okay.
C-O-N.
So, dude, it was so funny. After game 7, we were like, "Where the fuck is Con? Like, they just won."
Trust me, he would have been all over it. He would have found you guys, but
Bro, but when he wasn't down there.
And then I looked up your brother's names and I saw Colin, not Con. I was like, did some random fucking kid just tell us he was Montour's brother and then hang with us?
And then we brought him around all night. And I was like, he got us, dude. That was epic.
Yeah, everyone thinks it's weird that we call him Con. I don't know where that came from, but I think my old man, I think my dad wanted to name him Con, and then they ended up naming him Colin, and then it just stuck. So he's known around everyone that knows him as Con.
Dude, I'm so happy
funny
to hear this because like he was the man,
hilarious.
and I was like, this was either the greatest grift of all time or it's actually his brother, and we'll find out. So that's beautiful stuff.
That brings me great joy. Yeah, but what a great hang.
Well, dude, as a couple of New England guys, I want to talk to you about your college experience because you had a very quick and very successful college experience at UMass. At the time, like we said earlier, you were all rookie team for Hockey East.
Yeah.
At the time, you were the highest draft pick in UMass history until Cale Makar came around to be a dickhead and one up you. But you had an interesting route there, right? Because of weird eligibility clearinghouse rules at UMass and the NCAA, you didn't get to go there until like November or December or something like that. And we're buddies with Frank Vetrano, who obviously is a mutual friend, and we know that motherfucker cheated on his SATs. What the hell did you do? Like,
what did you cheat on?
Went on?
It was so I don't know. I mean, obviously, it wasn't probably paid attention to when I committed there, because I guess from graduating and you need a certain amount of core courses in Canada, and you need a certain amount of core courses in the U.S. So I graduated back home, obviously in Brantford, or it's Assumption College. It's a high school, with the amount that I needed to graduate. And I guess to go to the U.S., you needed another, I think, 2 core courses, I believe.
Got it.
So I committed to UMass, and long story short, I guess they reached out, honestly, probably a month or 2 before I was going to school, and said, "Hey, listen, we can't get you in here." So I'm like, at the time, I'm like, "Well, what do you mean?" I'm like packing my stuff up, getting ready to go, and they said, "You don't have enough core courses." So we found a way to get me in. I'm like, okay. They're saying sorry. At the time, I'm like flip-flop. I'm like, okay, now what do I do? Do I go back to Waterloo?
Right.
Do I had an opportunity, obviously, to go to the OHL? Like, do I just decommit? And essentially, it was their fault for not finding this out early.
Mm-hmm.
But I just think with the loyalty I had and the relationship I had with the staff at that time, I'm like, I'm gonna ride this thing out. Let's figure a way to get me in as quick as we could. So we found a way to start college online earlier. So I pretty much got my freshman year done before I ended up going there. And then, I went to the USHL, played, I don't even know how many games now, it's forever ago, but 15, 20 games with them, and ended up meeting the guys second semester. And
then left in March. You're like, later, boys.
Now, I think our record was 1-11, 2-11, if I'm not mistaken. And then, so that was kind of interesting, going into there at that time. But we ended up around 500. And, my plan at first was probably not to leave as early. Like I obviously expected myself to play well and do well, but Anaheim at the time, I think, wanted me out of there right away and did well. The team was obviously so not as good as they are now. And they're like, let's get the hell out of there. And season ended, and I was, in at the time it was Norfolk, the Admirals, finished there, and then went up to Anaheim for a Black Ace. So essentially, that year I played in the USHL. I went to UMass. I went to the Admirals, and then I ended up not playing, but ended up in Anaheim. So 4 different teams.
Dude,
dude.
You've got to be the quickest cup of coffee in college hockey history. Like that,
Yeah.
You truly popped in for like 3 months, and then you're like, "See you later, guys."
Yeah, which sucked because everyone's like, I experienced it, but like I showed up to UMass, and it's a beautiful campus.
Yeah.
Like, it was like when I my Siri's going off. It was like going to tour it. I'm like shocked. I'm like, how are you guys not good? Like, how do you guys not get all these players how they do now?
Yeah.
But I showed up, and it was just starting to snow, and I left, and it was just stopping. The snow was just so it was like I never got to experience like a tailgate, which I guess are insane at UMass.
I heard you about to say Zoomass right there, by the way.
Zoomass, summer parties, summer events. It was literally snowing the whole time, but obviously a really fun time for sure.
Love that.
Yeah, that's fantastic.
Yeah.
B, I want to talk about the 2023 playoffs before we get into all the chaos from this year. And just run me through what it went through, like your guys' team, the belief you instilled in that run from upsetting, the greatest regular season team of all time in the Bruins.
Yeah.
Screw you for that goal, by the way. That was such a dagger. but the run you guys had in 2023, what did that do in terms of belief for the squad this year, where you're like, okay, we are good, we can hang? Like, talk about that 2023 run a little bit in terms of how it affected the next year.
Yeah, I think you could even start with, you could talk about before even, Maddie got traded to us, and the year prior we ended up winning the President's Trophy. So like we were already a top team, and we, like, the guys that stayed and the guys that were around knew that, the trades, the new coaching staff, that year that we won the Presidents, we were winning games, we were losing games 4-5-1 and then catching up and winning 7-6, like, 5-3, like crazy. And then we laugh it off, and then we just do it again. And then obviously that's not playoff style hockey. And, obviously Paul and his staff coming in, around Christmas time, we were like 8-9 points out, New Year came, and that's kind of when playoffs started. And we had that confidence saying, like, we are a good team. Like, how are we not, getting more wins? We turned it on them. We figured it out. I think, by after the new year on, I want to say we were probably top 5 team in the league, points wise. But the worst thing was, like, teams that we were catching and teams that were close were all winning games. We only got in by 1 point.
Last day, right? Well, last day of the season. It was insane.
Yeah, what did we need? We needed Pittsburgh to lose
to Chicago,
the Hawks.
And they lost to Chicago. So like none of this could have,
Yep.
It was insane.
So at the same time, we're like, okay, I don't know who we played. That last game, we ended up. I think it was Toronto, and I think we squeezed out an overtime point. I think they won, and we got a point.
I think that's
guys
right,
are pissed.
actually.
But like I remember, I was just saying, hey, like we needed 1 point. We got a point. We need as much as we can. Squeezed in anyways, and. Fired up about that, but then I think the group where we were just, obviously we weren't scared of Boston, considering like they were the best team of all time, considering their record. But we were confident in ourselves to figure a way to beat them. Went down 3-1 and still didn't really phase us. And then I guess you can just say the rest is history after that one.
Yeah, damn right.
I scored that goal with about 50 seconds left, and Carter finishes it off in overtime, and, we just kept the momentum into Toronto and then just kept going. Carolina was a tough series. And then I think by the time, you look at our final roster last year when we lost to Vegas, and then this past year, the amount of guys, you can't make excuses, but injuries, that was a tough playoff, run for us. Guys were all beat up, but our roster from then to now, was pretty crazy to see, who was in the lineups in both series.
Yeah, no doubt about it, man. And then, you guys went on that insane run. You obviously were so banged up in the final.
Yeah.
And it's so easy. We see it all the time, right? Teams have cup hangovers, even if you win or don't win. You're playing almost another full season. You guys came back and you were buzzing from the start last season. Like everyone kind of had you as a top team in the Atlantic. You were a top team in the Atlantic all season long.
Even though you weren't healthy early. I thought you would get off to a slow start because everyone was still recovering.
Which I thought too, from just reading and listening to obviously media, and people didn't think that we were going to come off, from, myself, Aaron, a few other guys hurt to start the year. And we added obviously a bunch of good veteran, depth that, started the year. And I think they were just as hungry as the guys, the past year, to be on a good team and to be able to win, and, having that itch like we did, and obviously losing in the finals, but it just makes you work that much harder to get, like, we finished on a Wednesday, I think, in Vegas, and I had surgery the Friday back in Florida.
That first Friday?
We were getting I don't even know what the score was going into the third, and I went up to the trainer and said, hey, schedule this surgery. I got to get it done, So Wednesday we lost. Friday I had surgery.
Fucking A, good for you.
And then rehab, just because I was prepared to get back, and I didn't know how long the extent of the rehab was going to be, which was a pain in the ass. But for myself, I was hungry to get back, to help. And then seeing the guys start off the first 20 games as they did, it was just like me and Aaron coming in at that point was just like, all right, it's time to get to work. It just makes us that much, stronger, which we did really well after that. And, just kept rolling off that.
Dude, so when you get into playoffs, right, it's like we said, I mean, another one, last week of the season, you jump Boston, get the number 1 seed.
Yeah.
I know that you guys all believed in yourselves. That was so clear just watching the team play. And Chucky obviously has those great moments where he was like, we're going right back to the cup, no doubt about it. But that playoff run for you guys was brutal. People don't look at that enough, frankly. It's like you get a first round draw of fucking Tampa, insane. Yeah. And then second round, Sway is playing lights out. And then third round, you get the Rangers, who did kind of feel like a team of destiny with the whole 94 to 2024 bullshit, and they were playing great. At any point, did you guys feel a little rattled, or were you just laser focused the whole time?
I honestly think we were laser focused. I think especially starting off, obviously tough teams, like you said, but starting it off against Tampa, like we were just like licking our chops, because like we believed, obviously last year we lost. To do this and to win, we needed to bite the head of the snake, and we believed obviously Tampa was obviously owned us the last handful of years, and to do that, it just kept rolling after that. The excitement from beating them, we're like, all right, this is it. Like, we're feeling good. And then to play Boston again, it just kept rolling with the rivalries.
Yeah.
We knew Boston was going to come in and try to pound us, and that was a heck of a series. And then anytime you get to play the President's Trophy winners, the Rangers are, a heck of a hockey team, and that was a tough one. But each round was, stellar goalies in both sides, challenges in each series. And again, we didn't let off the gas no matter. The thing with our team was, if we were down 3-1, like the first, their first year against Boston, or if we were down 4-1 going into the third, no matter what was at stake, our team was just pushing. And I think you could see that watching, and you could see that as a group. It was just like, 4-1 going into the third, guys, we're going to win this game, and we actually like believe that, and I think that was a big thing that, helped us.
Dude, you guys were like a plus 31 in the third period. All play. It was ridiculous.
There you go. Yeah. And if we were up 3-1, we're just like, all right, we're going to get the next one. We're pounding this team. Like, there's no chance this team's coming back.
But dude, are you sure that after an OT loss in game 2 against the Rangers, and then an OT loss in game 3 against the Rangers, and you're going into OT in game 4, you weren't a little nervous? Like, you weren't like, Jesus fucking Christ, the Rangers.
I believe that he wasn't.
Oh, me personally wasn't nervous. Like, I'm one to, I think guys will tell you too, like, I'm still joking around. But again, like, we've had players, like, and I know you could say the stat, but like the amount of overtime wins that we've had in the past, handful of years,
dude,
it just shows our group.
Yeah.
It's like, give the puck to Carter. Carter's
Yeah,
gonna score.
yeah.
Let me sift one on net, and 19's gonna be right by the net. Like, we'll find a way. And I think just that belief that we weren't scared of going into overtime and gripping our stick and having a turnover and ending up in the back of our net. It's just like, hey, overtime. The overtime. What did we go 4 overtimes against Carolina?
Yeah,
like,
that was ridiculous.
We just kept pressing, and then we won. And then the next game was overtime. So it was like playoffs give, each series gives a different, obviously problems. And, each series gives us something. And, obviously we were excited to just find a way to win. So,
it feels, everybody has said, Maurice has said a million times that you have like a 20-gallon tank and you can go forever. You did the Carolina game. People don't know that you have the longest NCAA game ever. When you guys beat Notre Dame, but we're boys with Chris Rooney too, and I love that. We talked at media day, but I love that exchange.
When he was making the comment in Carolina,
you go. I played 59 minutes. I'm still flying, and he's like, I do 60 every night, bro.
He was probably. I was laughing after. I'm like, you're probably in the locker room just thinking about what to say to me. Like, you had that
100%.
Oh yeah,
so good.
No doubt about it.
So Monty, you get to the final, right? And it's the Oilers, and there's a lot of. It's Canada's trying to win a cup, and it's McDavid and everything and all this stuff. And you guys, we picked you guys. I feel like a lot of the hockey world felt like you're the better team. And right away, it's like bang, 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 up 3-0. Mm-hmm. Feeling good. It's not over. The fourth one's the hardest one to get, but you're up 3-0. Like you said earlier, you get smacked a couple games. You lose game 6 in Edmonton. And you gave a great interview before game 7 where you said, it's one game. It's one game for all the marbles. May the best team win. We're ready to play. We're at home. We fought for home ice, blah, 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 all that stuff. Now that it's over and you've won and it's not a media interview, were you guys like, holy hell, this is a disaster? Or like, what was the actual emotion as you were approaching game 7?
It was, you think about it after, and it's, could Edmonton have beaten us one of those first 3 games? Yeah. And you look back, it's like, there's a reason why they were in the finals too. It's like, did we feel bad that we were up 3 and we had a chance to lose? Like, obviously, but like then you think about it, they got the 2 best players in the world. You could say now, like after everything, is the second best team in the world. Like they were there for a reason. It wasn't going to be easy. I don't know how many Stanley Cup Finals a team gets swept. So, and being that close, like you could talk to everyone. Like being 3 games up, it's a real thing. Being that close to the trophy and like everything around. Just one game and flying people in, like I was saying, or us just way too fired up before the games, or Mo coming in and doing this unbelievable speech where it's like, all right, we got to win. Like there's so much at stake that and for them it's you look at their side and it's like they got nothing to lose. It's like
so true.
Obviously kudos to them to pull it out and find a way to game 7. And then I think at that point it's just like, what guys, is you see even I was walking into the locker room before the game or before warm-ups in my suit, obviously before we changed up, and the TV said like could be the worst sports blow up of all time, and I think they were supposed to have the TVs off, but it was on. So just the fact of like thinking how it could have been, but they're in the same situation that we were those first 3 games, and just being that close to winning, flying their families in, like that was their first time to kind of feel those emotions. And I think for us, we were just kind of like, all right, no matter what happened in the past, it's one game. We've showed ourselves the last, you could say 2-3 years. And it was obviously like we talked on the ice. It was a heck of a hockey game. Like both ways, didn't give much. Like chances here and there. Connor with that backhand play, and I don't know how that stayed out, but
I forgot about that.
Dude, that Monty, that blocker pad save by Bob is the most untalked about thing in that game. Like that. That's
just little things. Like it's like
crazy.
The game was so fast on both sides. Didn't give much. And just. and think about looking up at the clock and you see, I think it was Connor and one of their D-men in front of the net when it was getting, fighting in the corner, and we had nobody in front of the net, and we're like we're all looking on the bench. We're like, 97's in the slot, all alone. What are we doing here?
Yeah, best player in the world.
Looking at it now, I don't know who it was. Mikkel in the corner. He's like, that puck was not coming out. I could tell you that. I had that glued to the wall.
Yeah.
But yeah, you think about it now, the rest, it doesn't matter what the series was at. We won, and we're Stanley Cup champions.
Exactly, man. Exactly. And it's what fires you up is like, yes, sure, you're up 3-0, then it gets tied. There's all that pressure. There's all the what ifs. This could be a collapse. But at the end of the day, you got a Game 7 Stanley Cup final at home. That's the stuff that you dream about when you're playing street hockey. So I feel like there was an element for you guys that was like, who fucking cares that it's like we're in our barn.
Yeah.
We know we're the better team. This is like the stuff of dreams. Let's go win the Stanley Cup.
And that's where it comes to like even the last 2 weeks of the season. We're like, hey, we got to collect as many wins and as many points as we can because you never know, if we're going to get home ice. That could have been, in Edmonton. Like we would have had to fly back to Edmonton and play Game 7 there. So. And you guys saw our arena. Like the arena in Florida is obviously grown so much during the season, but playoff times is a whole new level.
Oh, it's amazing.
I think, for me, I had a feeling and I knew that I was probably on my way out. So after we won, I was just kind of circling around looking at, how crazy this atmosphere was. And, it's obviously something that I'll remember forever.
No doubt about it. Squad, I want to talk to you really quick about Cash App. Cash App is without a doubt the best money transferring app on the market. I know there are some other ones out there, but they stink. Their search engine is terrible. Everything in it is finicky and weird. Cash App is smooth, crisp, and it does the best job of making sure you get your money transferred here and there, easy with all of your contacts involved. And the best part about Cash App is Cash App savings. All these other apps, you're just tossing money back and forth. Cash App, you are literally building wealth when you have money in your account. So when you're settling up some tabs, going halvesies with some friends, and that cash is in your app, it's in your account, you are literally creating more money for yourself. So make sure you get on Cash App today because when it comes to these types of apps and this type of service, nothing does it like Cash App. They are taking care of you while you take care of your finances. Get on Cash App today.
Taking a quick break from the pod to talk to you guys about Almost Friday, the pregame. That's right. This is the game that your pregames have been missing. It's cards, it's dice, it's everything. There's all kinds of different things you can pull. Horse races, challenges, trivia, most likely to. But I'm telling you this right now. Almost Friday is the best feeling out there. And this game will take your pregame to the next level and give you that Almost Friday feeling whenever you're playing. It's in stores now. You have to check it out. We've been ripping it constantly. It starts off every weekend night for us. It is an absolute blast. So go find it online, in stores, Almost Friday the pregame. You're missing out.
So the cup party, we with some of the other boys were waiting at Elbow Room for you guys like a bunch of fucking plugs. But you go to Chucky's house after, I know you guys stayed in the locker room for hours until like 3 a.m. Then you go to Chucky's house. Obviously, there was the amazing stuff on the beach all around town at Elbow the next day. But that night, just being with the boys, being with the families in the locker room at Chucky's, how special was that?
Yeah, you know what? It was, I think they said the one day we went back to the rink, I think we had to sign, our owners had to sign every champagne bottle. And I think they said there was over 160 champagne bottles that were, and
like empties, you mean? Yeah, just like
empties, but like just spraying everywhere. I think you could, like, I had my gear on till about 3:30, 4 a.m. I didn't go home till about 5:30. And guys were still there. You guys probably saw the pic of Carter sleeping on the lawn.
Yeah.
Like, I think he might have been one of the last ones there. But the funny thing is we celebrated that night. We celebrated another night, and then they had to take the trophy to Vegas. So like we had all week.
Yeah.
The parade was on Sunday.
Yeah.
We remember.
We remember.
Week to it was crazy. And the whole time too, for me, like we celebrated at the rink, got home around 5:30, went to Elbow Room at 11. I was talking to my agent. My agent's like, hey, you got to be a little sober for about noon because we have a meeting about free agency. I'm like, so like this whole time I'm celebrating, I'm going home, making calls, talking to my agent, talking to these GMs here, it's like all week. And then parade was Sunday and free agency was Monday. So it was like,
Dude.
it got busy and hectic, but glad where we're at now.
Yeah. Oh, no doubt about it. Was it just special, man? Like sitting in that locker room, looking around at everybody. Just, I get it. Those moments, like you just don't want to leave. You're like, we just went to war together. Like I want to stay in this room forever with these people.
Our locker room had obviously booze and water and champagne and up to like my ankles. Like our room probably, like I think the floor had to have, you should ask those guys, but I think they would, I would assume that they would have to take that floor out and completely fix it up.
Redo. Yeah.
Like it was like, it was crazy. Like we had staff, management, their kids, like, coaching, our families, like just packed in there. It was, smoke. You can't even see the person beside you because cigar smoke's all over the place.
You're
like,
just walking around in a flooded basement.
Yeah, I'm like going in the hallway, ripping our security guys that we had like into the locker room to like just pour a load of beer on them. Like, everyone in the arena was involved, and that was a super, super cool moment. And I'm curious to see how much that room cost to fix up.
We'll find out. We'll find out.
All right, and then my last question on the celebration, because we are huge fans of this, maybe the greatest establishment of all time.
Yeah.
How was the party at 11?
From what we remember, those, like that whole week was crazy.
Oh,
like
I can only imagine.
Going to Elbow Room, going here, going there. And then obviously me going home, talking to players on this team, like it was just hectic for myself and my family. But obviously you want to just cherish the week with the group that you just battled with. And, I'm back at the cottage now and I get literally 4 weeks to kind of chill out and right back to work. So,
Monty's, he's like, I got to call the Hurricanes tomorrow. And he's like, you called them yesterday, dude.
God, seriously, that's what it was. It was like, obviously I was fortunate to, have the opportunity of having a good amount of teams interested in me, but in the same time, like you kind of just want one team to kind of decide,
right.
Am I going out west? Am I going out east? Like, am I, like there's multiple teams that you had to think about. So each day, like, I had like one team for half a day to think about, one team to like it was just like, sitting back thinking like, what about this place? What about that place? Like,
in between shotguns, dude. It's like it's a lot to process.
A lot going on.
Much. Like we go to the Elbow Room for an hour or two, and then I'd be like, okay, I had three beers. Like, all right, I'm good to head back and make a few more phone calls.
Yeah.
And then, funny, like landing in Seattle. After I'm like, I knew where it was. But like from Florida, I'm like, I type in Seattle on my maps. I'm like, I couldn't have picked a further possible place to go than,
insane.
We got to hike. And we actually went out there 2 weeks ago. And whenever I played there, like it was gray and gloomy and I'm like sitting in the hotel. I'm like, I'm not getting out of this hotel. Like I'm not going to see anything. But obviously the place is beautiful and summertime's, incredible and locked in a place. And we end up getting that starting next month and the way it goes again.
Yep. Oh, yeah. Absolutely.
It's unreal. You're going to love it.
Absolutely. You talked about this a little earlier, Monty, but your day with the cup that you just had, right?
Yep.
So you're of Mohawk descent. That Six Nations community has meant so much to you and your family and everything like that. And you have played such a huge part in inspiring future Indigenous NHL stars, right? So I know you did a little mini parade there back home. Because like one of the first things you said after you won was like, I'm taking this baby back home. And you did a little parade. You had it on display for a few hours. Can you just tell us what you did? Like, tell us about that day. What'd you do with the cup while you had it?
Yeah. So we started at my parents'. I went up to Hamilton Sick Kids because that's where a lot of the kids from the reserve or kids from Brantford would all go to. It's called the Ronald McDonald House in Hamilton. Close by. It was probably a half hour. We met the cup there. Spent an hour there, and then on our way home, we just stopped at like my local junior hockey team in Caledonia, and then we ended up going to the police station, And then we ended up going back to my parents' house for family photos, just kind of chill out for, like an hour or two. And then they blocked all the roads off in Six Nations. We ended up starting the parade, and then the parade was just me, and then obviously the police officers and the fire station. And there was people, like, they counted, I think, around 25,000 people.
Wow.
25,000
Damn.
people showed up from
That's
like
fucking
Toronto
awesome.
to like everywhere, I guess. Bus loads of people. They blocked the roads. And then I gave them a few hours. And we pretty well got through everyone, which was surprising, but obviously tiring for me.
Yeah.
But I think you ask people about the stories of, their cup days and how they want to, share it with just their family and have quiet time. And, that's what you're going to miss. But I think just for me, experiencing it for the first time and bringing it back to Six Nations for the first time, it's cool to see everyone else's reactions, seeing the trophy live. Like it's a real thing to see what, so I owed that to, everyone. And then brought it home after, that. And then we had you could say a little private party, but there was about 200 people that we invited to the country club there. And, that was a shit show.
Yeah, as it should be. As it should be.
Yeah.
As it should be.
That's what cup parties are supposed to be.
Yeah.
You mentioned earlier you had all these teams and all these meetings when it came to free agency, finishing that Game 7, knowing that maybe you're going to be on your way out. When you talk to all of those different teams and all of these possible destinations, what was it about Seattle that kind of stuck out to you and made you think, okay, this is my next journey, this is my next home, and where I want to get over the hump with a new team?
Yeah, it was, there was a lot of things. We were prepared, like my agent and I, Matt, we locked in and trying to figure this out from honestly the start of the year. Like we had meetings throughout the year. Obviously the possibility of staying in Florida until it wasn't, possibility of what we wanted, as a family, what the teams wanted, what we were looking for in a hockey club. Did we want to be on a team that was a rebuilding team? Did we want to still contend? There's so much that went into it. Seattle was a team that was, talked about kind of in the background from my agent for a while. I knew that there was interest there. Obviously not experiencing playing a lot there. So, I knew it was a loud building, but like other than that, not much on that front, but they just kept, the name, they just kept staying in the, in the conversation, and then just one day, a couple of days before we decided, I was just like, hey, we got to seriously consider like what this place is, for me too, like, yeah, the, term was important, me being 30, that was a big thing, but, the contract's nice and all, but I wanted to be somewhere that I felt wanted, I think I deserved, I put myself in a pretty good opportunity to be on a team that, wanted me in Seattle, and talk to management, talk to players. They're a team that wants to win and find a way to win. So that intrigued me, but a team that, I felt really wanted me as a person and a player, and, that's all you can ask for. So, obviously incredible facilities. I was there a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, just so sick. Yeah, it's awesome.
It's like
so nice.
So it's got everything you need, and to win there, as a hockey fan, you see the fan base and you see clips of how loud this building could be. So it's exciting. Like we're excited, looking back now, it was cool to win a Stanley Cup in Florida for the very first time as an organization, and looking at it now, and before I decided, I just like, it would be cool to win a Stanley Cup for, that organization for the first time as well. So, that's going to be a pretty cool goal, for us to do.
Yeah, I was about to ask, you have that great, unique experience of being with Florida, this team that's building and slowly got over the hump, kind of, advanced past your bugaboos with things like Tampa, things like Boston, and now the opportunity to do that again with Seattle, a team that can get there and can do that. That must feel pretty cool.
Yeah, and they made moves, like they picked up Stevenson.
Oh, yeah.
And I know they had a down year last year, but the year prior, what they lose they didn't lose.
They beat Colorado. You saw what their
game
capable
from conference finals. They lost to Dallas in 6 or 7. Like the team's you look at their roster, like, and I don't know what the media is saying, like what their, projected wins or losses, but I'm expecting a big season, obviously for myself, just for the excitement of being a part of a new team. But I think the team's pretty damn good, and I'm looking forward to seeing what kind of damage we can do.
Yeah, so are we, dude. We like I said, we saw what they're capable of, and the moves they made. And you've said before, it's an incredible sports city. The fans are ready for you guys to rip it. So that's going to be fantastic, man. Okay, Monty, we'll get you out of here with this game we play with everybody at the end. It's called Pass, Shoot, Score, and I'm sure you've seen it, but it's just we're going to give you a couple things in categories, and you rank them: pass, shoot, score. So passing the puck, assists are cool, but that's your least favorite. Shots on goal is your second favorite. Scoring, the ultimate goal, so that's your favorite.
Yeah.
Okay, your first category in pass, shoot, score is your tattoos. Okay, so pass, shoot, score, the 12-29-16 tattoo, the anything is possible if you believe tattoo, or the newly added Stanley Cup tattoo.
Scoring, obviously, you got to go with the trophy.
Yeah.
Love it.
It's chest, eh? Where is it? On the chest?
No, it's right on my back.
Oh, okay, yeah.
I'd turn around and show you guys, but
Yeah.
We'll see it in Vegas.
See it in Vegas.
Yeah, exactly. There you go. We'll keep that for that one. What I say, that was score, pass. Honestly, anything is possible,
Yep.
And then shoot, it's like, there you go. It's pass is like anything is possible, starting at a young age. It's, every kid's dream. And then, shooting is, that's my very first game.
Yeah.
And mom's birthday, right?
Anaheim, in Calgary, my mom's birthday.
Yeah.
So that was a super cool moment. And then obviously, we're looking in, this is my 10th season, and
God, crazy.
It's a pretty damn good feeling to say, I've been lucky enough to be in 2 finals now, obviously, I think 3 conference finals and a Stanley Cup champion. So, going in my 10th year, I'm looking to add a few more of those,
But dude, if you start moving to the right side with tattoos, you're going to get hurt on the right side.
I hope the cup is on the right side. We need to balance out. Dude.
Hey, so this is the funny thing is all my injuries, and this is Timmy Wittenauer is one of our athletic therapists, and I'm sure he's not going to listen to this. He's a little bit older, and but he read something. He's always like looking and learning at things. He's like, tattoos, and he told me one day, he's like, tattoos are like have something in the ink that like weaken something in your body.
Come on.
And we're like laughing about it, and we're like, all my tattoos are from my left all the way down to my calf, and all my injuries are on my tattoo side. So it's just like, it's crazy to think that he read something and then all my injuries are like, it's true.
Yeah. It's real.
I'm keeping them all on my left, and that's just the way it goes.
I love it. All right, your next one is Halloween costumes. Pass, shoot, score. Your Waterboy costume with you and the wife.
Oh, yeah.
The Addams Family one with you and the wife. Or your Batman costume as a child, which was absolute gas, I got to say.
The worst thing is we got a bunch of Euros and a bunch of younger players that first they didn't know who the Waterboy was. I'm walking in there full football gear.
Yeah.
And they're like, I get it, you're a football player, but like, who are you?
Yeah.
Addams Family, I'm in straw all night and nobody has no idea. Like, I'm like, guys, this is uncomfortable, but like,
I'm nailing this. I'm nailing this costume. Yeah.
And then obviously nobody knows. I'm sure they saw pictures of Batman, but pass, shoot, score. I gotta say I like the Waterboy one for score.
Yep.
Addams Family, that was nice and easy. I wasn't a fan.
Easy, dude. You were covered in straw.
Nobody really knowing what it was though. So
fair.
That one was obviously really cool to see everyone that understood it, but. That's a pass, and shoot's got to be the Batman. Like, started at a young age.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. But that one was fucking beautiful.
Incredible.
I love it.
Incredible. All right, Monty. Next category is things you like to eat. Okay. Pass, shoot, score. Chocolate chip cookies. Do you like them soft or crunchy, by the way?
Not soft at all.
Okay.
No.
So a nice crispy chocolate chip cookie.
Yes.
Yeah.
A pregame meal from Francoli's down in Orange County.
I forgot about that place.
We had a feeling you might have forgot about Francoli's. I'm glad to bring it back.
What? Like I could say it now, but like Anaheim was in the mix.
Oh, no shit. Wow. That would have been fucking sick.
Fuck, that would have been sick.
And we did obviously just the feeling of unfinished business,
Yeah.
Didn't think looking back, should they have dealt myself and a number of other guys? Probably not.
Right.
I'd say so.
But thinking how it could have been, obviously the management and everything's completely changed, but I do miss that place. Like there was one point when like I started there, my first year, and I was the only one eating at Frankoli's. Like I knew like the whole staff, like they were like had a table set up, and I'm like 20, 21 years old. Yeah, I miss that place. Damn.
Yeah. Okay, so it's chocolate chip cookie, Frankoli's pregame meal, or a bowl of cereal out of the Stanley Cup.
The cereal was cool. We did cereal.
What kind was that?
You know what? I had Captain Crunch lined up for the private party. Forgot it at my parents'. I promised actually Zach Delp. So he played the year prior. You guys obviously know who that is, right?
Yeah.
We're close. He's close to home, and I promised. We FaceTimed each other before my cup day, and his kids were there, and I promised them some Captain Crunch in the cup.
And you forgot it.
Forgot it, but like we had I don't even know what cereal, Vector. I think it was Vector.
Fuck is Vector?
What the fuck is Vector? That's got to be some Canadian
shit. Exactly. That might be a Canadian thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that was cool. That was cool for the kids to to eat out of the cup. Chocolate chip cookies. Oof.
Yeah.
You know what? I'm gonna do pass Frankoli's. Just
because it's been a while. Yeah.
What could have been? It's been a while. Shoot the cookies and then score. Obviously, eating some. Cereal out of the trophy. Wow. Anything to do with it's crazy what this trophy can do. For anyone. Man. You bring it into a restaurant. The people that have no idea. We're walking it downtown Miami in the middle of the street. People are yelling, "What is that?" or honking the horn. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Incredible.
It's unbelievable. All right, your last one, Monty. Pass, shoot, score. These are things that you watch to get you fired up. LeBron James highlights. Zetterberg highlights.
Oh.
Or Don Cherry highlights on a VHS.
You could bring it back. Pass, just LeBron highlights, especially the last week. I've been watching a lot of the USA basketball.
Yep. Yeah.
That last game was pretty cool to watch. Shoot, I gotta go with classic Don Cherry Rock'em Sock'em.
Come on.
Christmas, going to the Christmas tournaments, the family packs up the van and throws it on the TV in the van and watches it for a few hours going to the tournament. And then it's funny. People ask who your favorite player was. Obviously, Steve Eisman. We were big Red Wings fans, but Zetterberg, obviously, unbelievable player. But I was always a fan of his game.
Yeah.
Weird because I'm a defenseman and I have zero kind of connection to that. Although I think wear my tongue's out because of him.
Love that.
Great factoid.
So we have a little connection with that.
I
always just loved him. Datsuk, Lidstrom, that kind of group. And Zetterberg was one guy that I was just a big fan of. And actually, we had a chance, I don't know if it was this year or a few years ago, him and his kid were in Detroit on the ice before maybe our morning skate. And one of the staff members said Zetterberg's out there. So I had to sprint out there and just chit-chat with him for a few minutes. But that was cool.
That's awesome.
That's fucking unreal.
And then one of our first games, I think my fourth or fifth game in the NHL was against the Wings. And we got a pic of it, actually, and me hammering them behind the net. And
way.
Fuck yeah.
I remember I told my dad obviously is watching. He's like, "Hey, what'd you say to him?" And I think I had to say sorry. I'm like, "Sorry, man." It's just like you're so in awe, but it's such a cool moment to kind of experience playing these guys. And that was one that I'll always remember.
That's hilarious.
Absolutely.
Sorry, Hank.
Yeah.
I love you, dude. You're the best. All right, Monty,
Yeah.
This was a fucking blast. We know you got to run, but we can't thank you enough for popping on. Before we let you go, is there anything you want to plug? Anything you want to shout out?
No, I mean, just you could shout out. I haven't got a chance to really talk to the Florida fans and the fan base of kind of allowing me to come in and not, you could say, kind of show. I always was a good player, but kind of came off, when I became a Panther and really took off from there. And the support that, that organization has given me. And, obviously want to shout out that, love them and miss them and, happy that we got it done. But, I'm on to Seattle and, the plan is to do it all over again. And, looking forward to that, that whole step there and excited to get down there. Summer's so short. I'm itching to get going with that organization, and I'm super happy to be part of that team.
Fuck yeah, buddy.
Hell yeah.
It's going to be a blast. All right, man. Well, thanks again. This is awesome, and we'll see you soon. We'll see you in a few weeks.
All right. Yeah, guys. We'll see you in a few weeks. Thanks for having me.
Huge shout out, huge thank you to our boy Monty, Brandon Montour. What a guy, what a player. Cannot wait to see what he does with Vince down in Seattle.
Credit to us for being such big Bruins fans and having to take that one on the chin.
Yeah, he rubbed that in our face a couple of times. And you know what? That's what friends do.
And that's what we deserve, dude.
Yeah, it's what we deserve.
Yep.
But it's also what friends do. You know, you got to be able to give and take. But god damn, that was so fun. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Brandon Montour, just one of the best defensemen in the game right now. So fun. That was fantastic.
So proud of him too, by the way.
Oh my god.
Like I said at the top. I said at the top, look up his funny articles. I'll say at the end here, look up his contracts. Because he hasn't been raking. Like, he's been earn it deal over and over and over.
And he earns it every single year.
And now he gets his big ticket because he deserves it.
Yep.
And I'm so excited to see what he's going to do with it.
Oh, fantastic stuff. Well, that is it for us, this episode of the Empty Netters podcast. We can't wait to see you guys next time. And until we do,
skate hard.